Good afternoon, my dear students. Already we have discussed with you muscles of the face and neck, muscles of the face, occipitofrontalis, levator palpebris superioris, orbicularis oculi, buccinator, orbicularis oris, masseter, temporalis, and pterygoid muscle. And then already we have discussed with you muscles of the neck, sternocleidomastoid muscle and trapezius muscle. Then I have discussed with you muscles of the back, trapezium, teres major, psoas muscle, latissimus dorsi, quadratus lumborum, sacrospinalis. Hereafter we have to discuss muscles of the abdominal wall. Learning outcomes. After studying this section, you should be able to name the main muscles of the abdominal wall, outline the functions of the main muscles of the abdominal wall. Let us see what are the muscles in abdominal wall. There are 5 pairs of muscles that form the abdominal wall. From the surface inwards, they are rectus abdominis, external oblique, internal oblique, transversus abdominis, quadratus lumborum. What are they? What are the muscles involved in abdominal wall? Made in abdominal wall? Rectus abdominis, external oblique, internal oblique, transversus abdominis, quadratus lumborum. You have to keep it in your mind, these names. Those are the muscles. This is the sternum. To the sternum, to the symphysis pubis, there is a line. We call it as linea alba, and this is the rectus abdominis muscle. Rectus abdominis muscle. When surgeons are doing surgeries, first of all they cut the skin, then they have made the subcutaneous tissue. Hereafter they meet the rectus abdominis muscle. Rectus abdominis muscle should be cut and retract, separate, retract to explore the inside of the abdomen. To do a laparotomy, to exploratory laparotomy or laparotomy surgeries, rectus abdominis muscle is cut and see the inside of the abdomen. Hereafter surgery, after the surgery, it has been sutures in line. Okay, this is the rectus abdominis. This is the rectus abdominis muscle. This is the transversus abdominis muscle. Oblique muscles folded back. Folded back. This is the internal oblique muscle. Internal oblique muscle. External oblique muscle removed. External oblique, when removed the external oblique muscle, you can see the internal oblique muscle. Then this is the linea alba. Earlier I have mentioned that this is the inguinal ligament. This is the inguinal ligament. This is the symphysis pubis. This is the external oblique. This is the external oblique muscle. After removing the external oblique, we can see the internal oblique muscle. This is the inguinal ligament. Inguinal ligament, where some hernias, inguinal hernias occur in this area. What is hernia? A hernia is a protrusion of bowel through a weak point in the musculature of the anterior abdominal wall or an existing opening. You have to keep it in your mind. What is hernia? Hernia is a protrusion of protrusion of an organ or part of an organ through a weakened wall, weakened point. Site of hernias: inguinal hernia. Inguinal hernia, the weak point is the inguinal canal. This is weakened. When weakened, this inguinal canal it protrude the spermatic cord. The weak point is the inguinal canal, which contains the spermatic cord in the male and the round ligament in the female. Round ligament. Through the round ligament, most uterine arteries are entering into the uterus. Spermatic cord in the male and the round ligament in the female. Weakened point in this weakened point, those parts goes to this inguinal canal. We call it as inguinal hernia. Then it occurs more commonly in males than female. What are the other hernias? Femoral hernia, umbilical hernia, incisional hernia, diaphragmatic cohiatus hernia, peritoneal hernia. Here in the GI tract, we all again discuss this. Now you have to keep it in your mind, those things. This is the muscle, this is diaphragmatic cut, diaphragm cut, and then quadratus lumborum. This is the quadratus lumborum. We earlier discussed os muscle. This is the iliac crest. This is the ilium and iliac crest. Iliacus. This is the iliacus. This is the femur, bone femur. This is the inguinal, and this is the 12th rib, quadratus lumborum. Okay. In this figure, you can see transverse abdominis, and then in the anterior aspect, in this picture, in the anterior aspect, transverse abdominis, external oblique, internal oblique, and sacrospinalis muscle. Before we talk about, then this quadratus lumborum and psoas muscle. The anterior abdominal wall is divided longitudinally by a very strong midline tendinous cord, the linea alba, meaning white cord. Earlier I have shown you where the linea alba, it is divided longitudinally by a very strong midline tendinous cord. We call it as linea alba, which extend from the xiphoid process of the sternum to the symphysis pubis. This is the linea alba, sternum to the symphysis pubis. It has a strong anterior abdominal wall divided by this longitudinally very strong midline tendinous cord. This we call it as linea alba. Linea alba. It extends xiphoid process of the sternum to the symphysis pubis, dividing abdominal wall into two parts. In this picture, you can see transverse section of the muscles and fascia of the anterior abdominal wall. Transversus abdominis muscle and external oblique muscle, internal oblique muscle, and rectus abdominis. This is the linea alba in the midline, and fascia of the transversus abdominis, fascia of internal oblique, Fascia of external oblique. There are two fascias, external fascia, internal fascia. Rectus abdominis. This is the most superficial muscle. It is broad and flat, originating from the transverse part of the pubic bone, then passing upwards to be inserted into the lower ribs and the xiphoid processes of the sternum. What is the origination? Originating from the transverse part of the pubic bone, then passing upwards and inserted to the xiphoid process of the sternum. Medially, the two muscles are attached to the linea alba. External oblique muscle. This muscle extends from the lower ribs downwards and forward to be inserted into the iliac crest and by an aponeurosis to the linea alba, where it extends lower ribs downwards and forward to be inserted into the iliac crest. Okay. Internal oblique. This muscle lies deep to the external oblique. Internal oblique muscle is inside of the external oblique muscle. Its fibers arise from the iliac crest and by a broad band of fascia from the spinous processes of the lumbar vertebra. The fibers pass upwards toward the midline to be inserted into the lower ribs and by an aponeurosis into the linea alba. The fibers are at right angles to those of the external oblique. Transversus abdominis. This is the deepest muscle of the abdominal wall. The fibers arise from the iliac crest and the lumbar vertebra and pass across the abdominal wall to be inserted into the linea alba by an aponeurosis. The fibers are at right angles to those of the rectus abdominis. The main functions of these paired muscles is to form the strong muscular anterior wall of the abdominal cavity. The main functions of these muscles to strengthen the abdominal wall. When the muscles contract together, they compress the abdominal organs, place the vertebral column in the lumbar region. Inguinal canal. Earlier I described that this canal is 2.5 to 4 cm long and passes obliquely through the abdominal wall. It runs parallel to and immediately in front of the transversalis fascia and part of the inguinal ligament. In the male, it contains the spermatic cord and in the female, the round ligament. It constitutes a weak point in the otherwise strong abdominal wall through which herniation may occur. Hereafter, we have to discuss muscles of the pelvic floor. Thank you very much for listening.